We are back with another monthly wrap-up of some of the weird, bizarre, and even scary news to come out of Japan over the last month. So what happened over the last month or so? Let's take a look. Number 1. As a fan of the many interesting events Japan runs each year, such as inflatable dinosaur racing and how many pumpkins can you hold at once without falling over, this month another amazing event was announced: Human Mahjong. This particular event is to celebrate the 20th anniversary of Marujan, an online mahjong game, and it will be held on April 26th this year with 136 participants. Each person will become a tile, and professionals will play the game using, well, these human mahjong pieces. They're also hoping to recruit up to 600 spectators for the fascinating event, so if you're in the area, why not check it out? It's certainly not something you see every day. Number 2. When you think of shrine gates, well, you're probably thinking of something like the image you can see here. They're generally pretty big, able to fit the most giant of people several times over, and they're usually red, white, or plain old concrete. But this month, a particular shrine gate started doing the rounds online for being rather, well, odd. This shrine gate can be found at Tamatsukuri Inari Shrine in Osaka, and you can immediately see the problem. It's a little too small to go under unless you're into limbo. Why does such a strange shrine gate exist? Reporters spoke to the shrine and discovered that this particular gate was dedicated by Toyotomi Hideyori in 1603. Naturally, it was a full-sized gate at the time, but during the Great Hanshin earthquake of 1995, the shrine gate was damaged. Due to repeated fires and other disasters over the years, not a lot of original structures related to the Toyotomi family still exist, and so the shrine did the only thing they could to keep this original piece of history still around. They removed the broken lower pieces and put what remained of the top back into the ground. And so, while it might look a little strange to passers-by, this shrine gate remains one of the few original structures left over 400 years later from the Toyotomi family. Number 3. You may remember that it was recently reported that long-time wanted terrorist Kishima Satoshi came forward in his old age because he wanted to die under his real name, and at the time of that video, they hadn't yet confirmed whether it really was him via DNA. Well, those results came back and it was determined that, yes, it was highly likely the man who passed away in hospital was Kishima. But that's not what we're talking about this month. No, it turned out that thanks to Kishima once again being all over the news, another fugitive was arrested. Kin Shigeyuki, the man whose face could be found right next to Kirishima's on wanted posters all over the country, suddenly found his visage on display with high frequency once more. And unfortunately for him, someone recognized him. Police received an anonymous tip from someone who lived near Kin, and thanks to said tip, were able to find and arrest him. He had been on the run for the last 4 years. Number 4. In more interesting events and customs, Tosa Shimizu City in Kochi Prefecture was in the news this month for a rather interesting annual event they hold at the Usubaya Ryugu Shrine each year. Held on February 10th, this event involves women facing the sea, and then, well, lifting the front of their skirts towards it. While lifting their skirts to curry favor with the sea kami, they scream, "Taigyo!" or "Big catch," hoping that they will be blessed for another year. And that's about it. Flash their underwear to the sea, scream for a big catch, and done. Commenters were amused at the earthly desires this sea god apparently has, and it's unknown when this event apparently began, but it's still being carried out today and, for better or worse, hasn't been lost to the ravages of time yet. Number 5. But we're not done yet. A rather interesting festival was held in Owase City, Mie Prefecture, on February 7th, called the Mountain Kami-sama Festival. What makes this one unique is that, somewhat similar to the previous one where women flashed their underwear at the sea god, this time around, people flash fish to the mountain god. and laugh loudly about it. This festival has been around for 300 years and, as the story goes, the local mountain and sea gods had a great battle and, in the end, the sea god won. But, to make the mountain god feel better, the locals showed her fish and laughed, saying the sea god was so mean that not even the fish would be friends with him. Mountain kami are traditionally thought to be women, and they protect the fields, so the villagers then turned this into a festival to pray for good harvests and remind their local kami, even if she lost in battle to the sea, they still loved her and were on her side. How sweet. Number 6. It was reported that 3 criminals were arrested last month for a crime they committed last October. A crime that they live streamed to a rather amused audience for roughly 90 minutes. Last October, a man was streaming in Yokohama, but was so drunk that he sat down and fell asleep while his stream was still going. Roughly 10 minutes into his nap, a hand can be seen reaching into his bag and stealing his wallet. If the thief had left things there, he probably wouldn't have been caught. After all, the only thing anyone saw was a hand. But then, about an hour later, security cameras picked up the man returning, and this time stealing the phone the still sleeping man was using to stream. With the stream still going. The stream continued for the next 30 or so minutes as he got into a van with an accomplice, broadcasting his face, conversation, and even car navigation details the whole time, without realizing the phone was still streaming, and then entering a hotel room to meet another accomplice as they looked over what he took. It was at this point, with the camera face up on the table and still broadcasting them online, that the men suddenly realized they were live and quickly turned the phone off. Naturally, police had more than enough information and, after gathering all the evidence, arrested them not only for this crime, but others from the nearby area as well this month. Number 7. Need some salt. Higashiura town in Aichi Prefecture has you covered. They announced last month that they would be putting up 2 giant rock salts up for sale on a flea market app. Yes, you could have these massive salt blocks all for your own. For the right price, of course. According to the town, these giant blocks were purchased in 1999, one from Germany and one from the US, because the town specialized in salt production up until the Meiji era. In the early 2000s, they displayed various salt rocks from abroad to promote their own town and educate people on its history. But 5 years ago, the museum they were displayed in underwent renovations, and they no longer had a place for the salt, so they've sat in a warehouse for the last 5 years doing nothing. As they no longer have a use for them, they're going to sell them. The town claims not to know the exact composition of the rocks though, so whether the salt is actually edible or not is unknown. Buy at your own risk. Number 8. It was reported this month that Hayashi Masami, who you may remember is currently on death row for her part in the Wakayama curry poisoning incident back in 1998, had her 3rd request for a retrial accepted by the Wakayama District Court. Hayashi was sentenced to death in 2002 and has been in prison ever since. She has appealed and formally petitioned for retrials numerous times over the years, with all of them being rejected and her sentence upheld. Hayashi's side claims they will argue that the arsenic found in the paper cups at the festival and that found in her house were not actually the same thing, as well as other factors they claim will also clear her name. This case is still ongoing. Number 9. Yakuza member selling soda threatens ninja handing out leaflets in Asakusa is the type of headline only Japan could deliver, and this month that's exactly what happened. For quite some time now, Ogawa Atsushi, 56, has been selling Namune drinks in the Asakusa area of Tokyo, and thanks to his spot in a rather popular area of town, he reportedly makes quite good money there. But when a man dressed as a ninja showed up recently to hand out leaflets, the battle was on. Ogawa reportedly went up to the ninja and kindly informed the man that this was his turf, so if he wanted to hang around and hand out his leaflets for a ninja event nearby, he'd have to hand over some cold, hard cash. He also gently informed the man of the Yakuza family he was associated with, just in case. The ninja still declined to hand over his hard-earned money, however, and instead went to the police. Ogawa was then arrested on February 8th, but he denied the charges and claimed he was just giving the ninja a friendly warning. Ever since the news hit the internet, however, numerous people have expressed their wishes to see the situation turned into a comic series, while others are worried about the state of organized crime if they have to rely on selling namune on the street corner to get by. Indeed. Number 10. Finally this month, a terrifying video shared on Twitter has, at the time of recording this, reached over 13 million views and still counting. Showing a nearby forest while being filmed inside a car, the tweet simply says, "Ah, it's begun. Crap, 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 crap. Ah, ah." And what has begun? What's lurking in the forest that's so terrifying that tens of thousands of people have shared the video and millions have watched it? Well, pollen. Of course. Hay fever season is here. Hay fever season is no joke, and it's around this time of year that the Japanese cedar trees in particular start releasing their pollen, causing issues for many around the country. Seeing so much visible pollen rising from the trees like a heavy blanket of fog though, even for someone like me who doesn't suffer from hay fever, it's more than a little scary. Stay safe, hay fever sufferers. The season has begun. And that's just some of the weird, bizarre, terrifying, and also kind of funny news that came out of Japan last month. But what about you guys? Hear of anything odd or terrifying? Weird or funny? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you again next time.